Hello, everyone. My name is Kennedy Eborka from the Department of Sociology, University of Lagos, Nigeria. The title of our paper is Mountain Tourism and Socio-Economic Outcomes in Mountain Communities in Nigeria, Prospects and Challenges. To begin, mountains and hills are popular objects of tourist attractions that account for a significant percent of annual global tourism. So now, there is a growing interest in mountain tourism across the world, especially in developing countries, because of its potentials for national and community development. Nigeria is home to some mountainous features with potentials for positive socio-economic outcomes at the local and national levels if these potentials are harnessed. However, in most cases, the country's mountainous features are valued more as sources of spiritual awareness than for its potentials for economic enhancement. Aim of the paper. The aim of the paper is to understand the impact of mountain tourism on mountain communities in Nigeria and to come to terms with the challenges and prospects it poses. In other words, though Nigeria has some important mountainous features across the country, but the lack of research interest in mountain tourism makes the knowledge of the impact of mountain tourism activities on local communities in the country unclear. The question is, what are the socio-economic outcomes of mountain tourism in Nigeria? This paper hopes to explore this question. Research methods. The study was done through extensive literature review and site visits to mountain communities in some southwest states of Nigeria for ocular evidence. Let's take a brief excursion into tourism development in Nigeria. The year 1472 marked the beginning of interest in tourism as a sector in the country. That was when some Portuguese merchants visited Lagos, but the visit was motivated mainly by trade. In 1962, the Nigerian Tourism Association was created to further promote tourism in the country. Then in 1971, the African Development Bank picked interest in tourism in Nigeria and affirmed the country's tourism potential. In 1989, there was the Ministry of Trade and Tourism. Then in 2024, the Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy was created to further promote tourism in the country. However, tourism in Nigeria focuses mainly on events such as ethnic festivals as aspect of cultural tourism rather than mountains as important tourist attraction. Examples of such cultural festivals are the Eyo Festival among the Yoruba of southwest Nigeria and the Fishing Festival among the Agungun of North Central, as we can see from the picture. Otherwise, up to that level, mountain tourism did not command any official attention. Presentation of some selected mountainous features in Nigeria. Here we present some mountains and hills in Nigeria, beginning with the Ijesha waterfall, also known as Olumere waterfall, meaning the water deity. Objects like these play a very important spiritual role in most Nigerian communities. Located in Ijesha in Osun State, the waterfall is a series of 7 cascades that flow down the rocks or to the air. The next is the Olumo Rock, located in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The name of the community, Abeokuta, meaning under the rock, was actually derived from the presence of the rock in the community. The Olumo Rock possesses some important historical and spiritual symbols for the community, and local tales suggest that the rock was a source of refuge during the 19th century intertribal war. Today, while these rocks are beginning to be recognized as important objects of tourism, Most community members where these rocks are located value them for their cultural and spiritual relevance rather than as objects of tourist attraction. The last of the rocks or mountains is the Obudu Mountain Resort. Formerly referred to as Obudu Ranch, the Obudu Mountain Resort is located in Cross River State, Nigeria. Though the mountain or rock has taken the shape of made environment, yet today it still possesses its natural features such as the smoke hill and vast grassland. In all events, these mountainous features represent important cultural and historical assets, but not much is known about their impacts on the local communities where they are found. The significance of mountains in Nigerian society. Lack of adequate data precludes reliable knowledge of the contribution of mountain tourism to Nigeria's pool of foreign exchange. However, tourism as a whole is said to contribute about 3.65% to the nation's GDP. At the community level, mountains play more of spiritual role in the life of the people than as an economic asset. So local community members believe that these mountains possess spiritual character and many turn to mountains to seek spiritual remedies to their individual and societal problems. So it is common to see people around mountains climbing to the top of the mountain to pray, and the surroundings of the mountains are sometimes decorated with religious symbols, with people coming around to seek spiritual remedies to their problems. So for them, these mountains represent important spiritual assets rather than opportunities for economic investment. Let's look at mountain communities in Nigeria for some socio-economic changes. Properly managed, mountain tourism is a driver of social change. However, not much has changed socially in the communities that form the focus of this study. Though it was observed that mountain tourism activities around the hills are bringing local residents into contact with the outside world, but not much has changed. Economically, there was evidence of minor improvements in the economic life of the people. For instance, some host community members who were primarily farmers and hunters are now interested and are engaging in tourism related activities around the mountains. Challenges to mountain tourism development in Nigeria. Some challenges were observed in relation to sustainable mountain tourism in the country. Some of these challenges include the following. One, neglect of mountain communities. Local communities are often excluded from the management of mountain tourism spaces, thereby hindering them from the benefit provided by mountainous features in our community. So for mountain tourism to flourish, there is a need for the inclusion of community members in the management of mountain tourism within. The second challenge is corruption. Corruption is endemic in the country and tend to divert resources meant for the development of mountain tourism infrastructure. And there is the challenge of insecurity, high level of insecurity, including kidnapping, which discourage and deter tourists from coming to the country and damage the country's tourism reputation. Overall, there is lack of government will. There is insufficient government support and investments which tend to limit the growth of mountain tourism in the country and affect the proper functioning of other sectors within the society. Conclusion. We conclude by saying that Despite the presence of mountains across Nigerian geopolitical zone and the enormous benefit it can attract, the sector is not accorded the requisite official attention. And this lack of attention is evident in the poverty of local communities, as echoed question raised in Ada and Imoabas 2021, where is the ranch in us? Amid opulence and penury at mountain resort. Thank you for listening.